Morning, y'all. I figured I would start this video with a discussion on some topics that I had looked into while really contemplating and everything else here at RTI. No, I am currently I'm not in the mood of leaving RTI. I'm not going to lie, though. I did kind of look at a couple other companies. The whole thing of, oh, the grass is greener on the other side kind of thing. But so far I have ultimately decided, no, I need to just stay here and stick it out. RTI is not a bad company, but there's one big thing that I had found out that I am not a fan of. Alright, give me 1 second. My latch to my hood is annoying me. Alright, there we go. It was my latch. I was just in the shop, got it out last night, and they didn't latch the hood all the way. So the driver's side latch here with the truck idling was just and making a really annoying noise. So, yeah. All right. Let's get into it. All right, y'all. So we get into the topics and to talk a little bit about RTI and the info that I had found out. I have really been contemplating because I really miss having my cat, and I know a lot of people, they're all about, just get a dog, get it the dog, put it on the truck with you. I'm not really, I don't have an issue with dogs. I don't know, I'm just not really a dog person. I'd rather have cats. So when I'm out on the road, my girlfriend is at home with my cats. So, with my cat. And when I got hired on originally, about 6 months before I actually applied for RTI, I was all about, hey, my cat is a priority, my cat needs to be on the truck with me. Then when I put in the application and everything else got approved, that's when I was told, hey, you can't have your cat with you. So I'm really having some issues with that. On top of the fact that obviously if my girlfriend is thinking about, she wants to come on the road with me for a little while. Having her on the truck is not a problem, but obviously we can't leave my cat home alone without anybody. So yeah, there are truckers out here with RTI that have cats, and they got their animals in before the policy was changed. Good for them. I'm happy for them. Having a little animal companion on the road is amazing. So I started really thinking, started really looking, reached out to my DM, started asking him questions, going, hey, especially now that my LLC has been approved, hey, what happens if I go and buy my own truck? Can I still stay with RTI, like if I went to Lone Mountain or whatnot? Can I stay with RTI and just bring my truck on? And can I have my cat? And he was like, oh, I don't see an issue with that. It's your truck. So he said he needed to confirm it, though. And then earlier this week, it was confirmed. So if I went and got my own truck here at RTI, or if you're like me in my situation, if you have a cat and you want to have them on the road with you, the only way that's possible here at RTI right now is you have to have your own truck. So, with getting all that info, though, that is a pretty amazing news of finding out that I can actually go get my own truck and bring it on and run it under RTI's authority and whatnot, and stay within the fleet. The only thing they require is a DOT inspection on the truck to make sure everything runs correctly on the truck, because they are literally putting it underneath their authority and all their stuff, so they want to make sure that whatever product the truck you are bringing with you is up to safety standards. So with that said, I started looking and whatnot, not gonna lie, and then told my driver manager about it, and he was like, well, have you thought about buying out your lease and buying the truck you're currently in? And I honestly told him, no, not really. I haven't really thought about it, but maybe I should consider it. So this is where the cover photo comes into play of how much I found out how the truck was going to cost. So I called my representative with the company that deals with everything on the lease end. He's an amazing dude. If he doesn't have an answer for you, he will try to give it to you right off the bat. But he did his magic on the computer, everything else. For this truck that I am in, it is a 2023 International LT 625. The paying off the lease, there is no early penalty fee for doing so, like there are in certain companies. There are certain mega carriers that I am aware of, because I have buddies who have paid off their trucks early, that they give you a penalty fee for paying off the truck early, which in my opinion is just another money grab, obviously. But that's a whole another tangent I can go on. I'm going to stick here with RTI. He did his magic on the computer. I would have to, if I wanted to pay it up front, I would still have to pay for the entire lease plus the $20,000 balloon payment. Now that $20,000 balloon payment, if I finished off the lease, RTI would pay for themselves completely. If I went the full term of the lease, they pay it off themselves with bonuses that they have given to me during the 3.8 years that I have been leased to this truck. So he goes, you're not going to have that incentive if you pay it off early, because you're just going to have to pay it yourself. The grand total to buy myself and this truck and pay off the lease for this 2023 International LT 625 with the $20,000 balloon payment is $1,500. Sorry, not 1,000. Way off. $156,000. Now the truck itself is 130 something. Yeah. 136, sorry. And then you add the 20, 156. It's morning time. I just made my coffee and I'm making this video. So, excuse me while my brain tries to wake up. But $156,000 to buy off this truck. Don't get me wrong. My jaw hit the floor and I was taken aback and I was like, holy smokes. Especially seeing how currently in this market, and I know dealerships are probably having a hard time because they've just made a post out. They've made posts and whatnot out for a international truck, a 2026 international truck is $2,000 less than what it costs for me to buy this truck. So you really let that sink in. For a 2023 that I have, $156,000. But I could go to a dealership today, if I had the money, and buy a brand spanking new 2026 International for $154,000. Now, with that being said, there is the caveat, obviously. If I go to the dealership, if you went to a dealership, or if, let's say, I went to a dealership and did that and bought a brand spanking new 2026 International for that $154,000, you are going through a traditional bank. That traditional bank is going to put an interest on that truck, on the loan for that truck. You also have to put 20% down of that $154,000, which is a significant amount of money. You all, like I said, you also are getting charged the interest on said truck at whatever rate. I don't know what the rates are right now. Maybe 6% all the way up to 30-something%, depending on what state you live in. Seeing how there are certain states that don't have laws about caps on interest rates. So you add that in, and then you're probably, let's say, you're adding another 30 grand in interest. So right there, you're looking at close to 200 grand for a brand spanking new truck. It took me a little while to really sit there and actually look at it that way and see, okay, well, you're going to get charged interest, everything else. For the first couple of days, I was irritated, I'm not going to lie. I was like, well, why am I paying $156,000 for a used truck that and like I said, don't really have any control over until I actually own the truck. So why would I pay $156,000 on a used truck? Now, as one of the good buddies that I talked to here at RTI that's been leasing as well, that's when he brought up the whole, well, there's interest, there's this, there's that. You really got to look at the whole picture. So it really had me sitting there thinking, okay, well, yeah, that is true. But I was still like, $156,000 is a lot of money. Programs like that have the high, like RTI provide, that have that really high dollar amount to pay off on a used truck. There are programs out there will take advantage of you. There are programs that are pretty decent. I think RTI is in that category of pretty decent. I think it could be a little bit better. There are things that need to be changed, in my opinion, about the leasing process here. There's a few things in the works being changed about the leasing process here that I have been aware of, or made aware of through rumor. I don't know if it's true or not. Like I said, it's a rumor. But overall, if you're in a situation like I was, where you don't have the greatest credit, don't have a lot of money that you can put down, you go to programs like this. Now, you are going to pay a lot more money for a used truck than what you would do, let's say, going to Lone Mountain or whatnot. Lone Mountain, not going to lie, because like I said, I've been looking at possibly going and getting my own truck and bringing it onto the fleet. Lone Mountain has some really nice newer trucks where you put a significant amount of money down and you're paying just a little over $3,000 a month instead of weekly payments like they have here at RTI. They also have a used trucks. Currently on their website, they're showing a whole bunch of internationals. This 2022 International, just 1 year older than what I have. Total cost about 70 to 80 grand. Now, with that being said, you also have the possibility of, obviously, unfortunately, going through a program like that, and I haven't gone through them, so I don't know. They look really promising and whatnot. Those trucks normally have much higher miles because they're used trucks for mega fleets that they have bought. So I've gotten all of it is added up, and I've really looked into it. And RTI currently still has, in my opinion, a really good program for lease purchase drivers. Yes, you are going to pay a lot for the truck fully going through the lease. You're going to be paying, by the time you're done with the lease, yes, you will be paying more than what the truck is worth. That's unfortunate. That's unfortunately the way the leasing industry is. Now that like I said, there are programs out there that offer you brand new trucks, but you're having a much higher weekly payments, or your much higher monthly payments if you go through a dealership. Overall, RTI, really good program. As long as you know how to work it. Struggling figuring out the financial side of the business, just being honest. Right along with saving for the big old tax man, saving that money. Currently, as we sit, if something really bad happened to this truck, I'm SOL. I don't have any savings right now, which isn't very comforting. So if you're going to come on with RTI and do it, make sure you're putting money away in an escrow, whether that's an escrow with RTI and that you set up with payroll, or outside of payroll. I had a little savings cushion, and then I ended up having to use it because I had some financial issues. So currently, right now, I don't have a cushion, and that's not very comforting. So if you come on with RTI, make sure you are putting money away. And what I had from all the successful drivers I have talked to, or either owner ops or lease purchase guys who've been here at RTI, they're all saying the same thing: save, 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 because you never know. That is the key to having a successful, one of the keys of being successful at this program is you have to save money. On top of the fact of you can't be one of those drivers that want to take your sweet time getting loads in, or not getting a lot of miles. You gotta have the mentality of running a business. I think RTI sets you up pretty well on doing that. For me personally, there are a few small things, obviously, that kind of turn into big things, like the fact that I can't have my cat on the truck. That make it a negative and make me really think. I'm not going anywhere though. Currently, I am sticking it out here at RTI, and I'm going to try to figure out if I can go and get my own truck and bring it on. That way I can have him. I love this company. I love working with my driver manager. He keeps me busy. He gives me all the miles I want, or all the miles he can. They are starting to grow. I'm starting to see that they're reaching out and trying to get more customers. Yes, they are not a big mega fleet that has customers coming out there eating like some of these big major fleets. Yes, you are going to be doing a lot of live unloads, quite a few live loads as well, because again, they're not a super big mega carrier where they have the ability to just do drop-in hooks. They in my opinion, with the trucking recession that's been happening, and with COVID and all this stuff these last 5 years, they are still as likely as the people in the office when I was in orientation. They cut back quite a bit. So here on YouTube, you'll see a lot of videos of people complaining about RTI because of all those cutbacks. And what they have come out and explained, and what I have come to understand, is they made those cutbacks, and they lost customers during that because they had to make those cutbacks and so they could stay afloat. And they're now finally in the flush, making money. At least that's what I was being told while I was in orientation, that they can finally breathe. So now they are slowly reaching out and trying to get more customers and whatnot. Now, with that said, I have not seen any newer trucks. Now, I have seen some used trucks come in. Like recently here at the shops. I just got out of the shop. Again, they have some day cabs, white day cabs. So I'm assuming they're going to start. They have a contract that they have got that requires day cabs. That or the guys who are local are going to start getting into day cabs. Maybe, I don't know. I really didn't ask any questions. All I know is you can see some of them down the way here, and then they have a couple of them in the shop when I was walked around to see how they were progressing with my truck. So, yeah. Just so you're aware as well, if you come on to be a lease operator here at RTI, the lease that you get will not tell you, because I went through my lease after I was told how much I was going to be paying for the truck. Does not tell you whatsoever the price, the final price of buying the truck. I don't know if that's they just forgot to put it in or whatnot, but they did not put the final price on the truck. That's a little unsettling for me, but being here at the RTI for the last almost 4 months now, it's not as big of a deal, seeing I was able to call my guy, and he was open and honest, did his thing on the computer, and flat out told me. He didn't sit there and go, oh, I can't tell you, and try to hide it. He was open and honest, and that's one of the things I love about RTI, is if you have a question, just because they don't have it on the paperwork in the lease, call, get the answer. If they don't have an answer, they're going to reach out to somebody that does have the answer for you. They are very open and honest. One of their famous commercials that they did literally 8 months before I came on, a lot of people commented on it, made it look like comparing it to a Tony Soprano movie, was how they don't play games and whatnot. And in my opinion, in my experience, they don't play games. Are there things that are frustrating? Of course, that's with every company. Are there things that they are learning themselves? Of course, but they're not going to learn what needs to be changed in the company unless you speak up and say something and whatnot. So, overall, RTI, really good company. So if you want to come on and lease, go ahead and do it. $0 down, and you can get anywhere from a 2022 all the way up to a 2024, either international or Freightliner. Currently, what I am seeing is they have, at least here at the KC shop, they have a whole bunch of Freightliners that are available to be seated in. So, yeah. If you're thinking and looking into a program, in my opinion, RTI's should be in that category. So, I mean, I live out in Idaho. Not going to tell you where, but I live out in Idaho. That's not their normal hiring area, and as long as I'm out here on the road for a certain amount of days, they get me home. No issues. Now, I do have certain times and days of the week I can go. Can get home. For a financial side, works better off for me and the company. So there is that caveat. So yeah, I think I'm going to end the discussion on that part, and I'm going to try to wake up and continue drinking my coffee. So stay tuned for the review on these last couple weeks. So all right, y'all, have a good day. Whew. Sorry, I know my hair's a mess and they're all over the place, but it is hot out here in Nebraska. All I'm trying to do is go home. Had a load I brought up here too. A customer that we have up here in Waverly, Nebraska. Had to change a tire. 2 tires actually, just to get up here. One of those tires, while I was getting ready to drop off the trailer, completely, the tread, the brand new recap got completely ripped off. Those ones I don't have a video on, obviously, but I will show you pictures after this little segment of a video. But I'm starting to think the universe is trying to tell me something on getting me home. Today's the 4th of July. I don't care that I'm working on the 4th of July. It's just another day for me. But I'm trying to get home, and I'm thinking, like I said, the universe is trying to tell me something. Come to pick up my my preloaded trailer to go towards home, and yeah, guess what? I have another tire on this trailer that I got to replace. Ta-da! Like I said, I really think the universe is trying to tell me something. That, or it's trying to keep me from something. From getting somewhere at a certain time. Who knows? But bad string of luck going home. So yeah. This is some of the stuff you'll deal with here at RTI, unfortunately. I'm sure every company is that way. But this is definitely something you'll deal with while working here. At least lately I've noticed that a lot of drivers that we have, they don't really pre-trip or post-trip, and they just drop trailers with a lot of tire issues, brake issues, or whatnot. So, yeah. Like I said, in previous videos, figured I'd give you guys the good, the bad, and the ugly. So, here we are. What's up, y'all? So, got my load here towards home. I was actually at the house yesterday. Called the store, asked them, well, the customer, if I could deliver early. Thankfully, they said yes. Thanks for the hookup from my driver manager for giving me the company that would do it early. As you can see, getting unloaded early, which means I get to go home for at least 3, maybe 4 interrupted days of being at home, which is going to be nice. You know, I've been out here for close to a month, so not bad, but definitely going to be nice getting home. So didn't get a lot of miles this week, so I'm sure, I don't know if I'm going to break even or if I'm going to owe money. I guess we will find out come next week when my pay settlement comes in, and then I get to do the review video of the previous week and then this week. So yeah, looking forward to it. But thankfully I had enough money out of this settlement that I ended up getting the majority of all my bills paid and all my food that I need for at least 2.5 weeks in the truck, which is something you can do here at RTI as long as you're running. I got to meet a driver there in Waverly. It was nice meeting you, and I appreciate you letting me know that my videos helped you decide that you were going to come on with RTI. I definitely appreciate it. It makes it to where I will continue doing these videos and showing the good, the bad, the ugly of this company. So yeah, so I'm gonna get this thing unloaded, and then I'm gonna go home and enjoy some home time. All right, guys.
I'm free.
Good morning. So I'm going to finish up this this video here for YouTube. Still early morning. Still trying to wake up. Drove pretty late last night. I know I need to shave. I'm looking a little scruffy and whatnot, but maybe I'll do that today or maybe tomorrow. I don't know. I want to give a shout out to the gentleman that I met earlier in the week who watches my videos. I appreciate you letting me know that my videos have helped you and you enjoy watching them. I also want to give a shout out to the driver that followed me. From that whole interaction there between me and the other driver. There was all three of us. I really enjoyed our interaction and getting to meet you guys. So I hope to see you guys out on the road again. Yeah. Sorry, squinting a little bit. It's freaking bright. Oh, good coffee. So I want to wrap up this review and this discussion video. I want to wrap it up. Going over these last couple of weeks. Week 17 went okay. It felt like I was pulling teeth to get miles. I did get a little over 2,800 miles that week, as you'll see on my pay stub or pay settlement. Pretty average week that week, but like I said, it did feel like I was pulling teeth to get miles. I don't know if it's just because we are in the slow portion of the year again, or if it's just RTI has way too many drivers in the same area at the same time. I feel like I had a couple of brokered loads that week. Well, I know I've had a couple of brokered loads in these last two weeks. I know RTI is trying to get customers and they're trying to get new ones so we can get more loads to where we have more guaranteed for miles. Oh wow. Sorry. Off topic. Just saw CR England pull into the truck stop, and they have a 2026 Peterbilt 579. Pretty nice. Obviously, it's probably all governed down and whatnot because it's in a megacorp, but it's a pretty nice looking truck. All right, back to topic. Sorry. This last week I went on home time. I knew I was going to have some short miles. My DM did come back, did do me a solid and help me out on getting some miles. He also, where he didn't have to, he paid me for the miles from after delivery that I did going home. That home time was definitely needed. By the time I got home, I was pretty burnt out. I did about 3.5 days of home time, which was really needed. Definitely hard to come back out on the road. Much harder this time than previous times. I mean, every time is hard. If you're a truck driver and you have kids or a family or whatever, you have a significant other you leave behind, it's always hard to go out on the road and leave them behind. But you got to do what you got to do to make that money and to provide for them. But yeah, I didn't really have that great of miles this week going home. I knew I wasn't going to. I tried to do what I could on my fuel expenses to where I could actually make some money. So yeah, I'm not too excited about this next coming week. So far, these miles that are coming up, unless I can get a customer to take the load early, is really going to suck coming out of home time. Yes, I chose to come out at home time on a Thursday, which should have been a pretty good day to come out. But I guess the cards weren't dealt for me, but that's for a whole nother video. We'll see how it goes on the next video, if I was able to get that load in early or not. So overall, I'm still pretty happy here at RTI. I do have some some frustrations. Obviously, you're going to have frustrations everywhere. Everybody's experience is going to be different. I have ran into a couple of you now that have watched my videos, and your experience is completely different than my experience. Or sometimes your experience is even better than my experience. So, everybody's experience here at this company is going to be different. There's drivers I talk to who are lease purchase, who are killing it with miles, and they're killing it, bringing in money, and they're able to save money, and they're able to do all this amazing stuff. And then there's drivers who are like me, that are right there in the middle, who's really trying to work my butt off to get up there to where I'm just bringing in the miles, making some money. And then there are those drivers, unfortunately, that are just not having a good experience. As you can tell by watching a lot of YouTube, or even just some of the comments that have been on my YouTube videos, there's a lot of people who have had really bad experiences here at RTI. I personally think that's how it is in every company. Every company has its good, every company has its bad. That's kind of why I decided I was going to start this channel and show you the 100% truth from my experience. You need to understand that my experience may be different than yours, but from my experience, the good, the bad, and the ugly of RTI. So, I still like being here. I still am enjoying my time here at RTI. Do I think there's some things that need to be fixed? Of course. Are there some issues that I am starting to see that could possibly turn into bigger issues if they don't start getting fixed soon? Of course. Yeah. Hopefully all that gets done, and hopefully your experience is better than mine. I mean, I'm not here to put anybody else's experience down. I'm hoping your experience with this, if you come on to RTI, is much better than mine. I think RTI is a good company, so at least from my experience so far. Again, like I have said a couple of times, it is my experience. Your experience might be different, so hopefully things will start getting better for miles, and make it to where I'm not feeling like I'm pulling tooth and nail to get some miles. I know my driver manager, I feel like he's doing pretty well on trying to get me miles. I know he's definitely overwhelmed. I'm sure I'm not the only one complaining about miles or whatnot. I'm sure there's drivers that he's having issues with. So either way, as always, you'll see my pay settlements for these last 2 weeks at the end of this video. If you don't mind, I don't care what you do, even if you click that little button, the thumbs up or thumbs down or whatever button, just interact with my video. It'd be greatly appreciated. It lets me know that people are actually watching and enjoying my videos. So, alright guys, till the next video.